Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the RAAD Life. A little bit of different setting today. We're not in studio, and there's a very good reason for it. If you haven't picked up already, we are on a very special racket sport court that you may not have heard of, or if you've heard of it, you may not know exactly what it's all about. For as big as pickleball has become in the United States, and tennis, obviously, everybody knows, how many really understand what padel is? And it's padel, right? Amir?
Padel.
Padel.
Or paddle.
No, padel. Because every time I say paddle, then people are confused. Like, what paddle for what, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So padel, and I'm here with Amir, who's the founder of Padel California, and I wanted to introduce you guys to the sport, which I found out about very recently. But it turns out that I'm just new to it, but it's been around for a long time.
Yes.
So Amir, thanks for being in the show.
Thanks for inviting me.
And I played one time. I got addicted. So just public announcement right off the bat. If you come and try it, you're going to get addicted. So, right? And for a whole bunch of reasons. So Amir, tell people about the sport first. And then I want you to tell people about yourself and how you got involved in this.
Yeah, I mean, padel was kind of my scapegoat during COVID.
Okay.
When I had some tough experiences personally.
Yeah.
With my business in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And just COVID kind of making it really difficult. So it was a great way to really
Escape and
stress.
Yeah.
And I played hockey my whole life. And got injured young pretty badly. So padel was like the first sport 10 years after I quit playing every day that I was actually able to enjoy, challenge myself, have fun in a social inclusive environment, and make friends as a grown-up, which is always difficult.
Very good.
Nowadays, especially with digital world, like padel is a great way to play, meet people, hang out. Yeah, and it's very international. Like we have players I'm from Finland, but we have players from Kuwait and Spain and Italy and France and Argentina, Ecuador, Chile. So it's a very international sport, and wherever in the world you go and play, you always meet new people from new countries.
And that's how I got introduced to it, because a very good friend of mine from Dubai, a good friend of mine from high school actually pointed it out to me because he's playing it there. And I'm like, what is this that you're talking about? I'm familiar with pickleball. He said, no, it's not pickleball. And so I looked into it, and the closest place for me to try it out was here in Oceanside, where you have two courts right now. So the interesting thing was that when I looked into it, it turns out that the sport, and I may be wrong, so you guys do your own fact checking, but the sport sounds like it's been around since 1960 or roughly. It was developed originally in Mexico, and then it spread. So South America, Europe, and Spain, they play it all the time. There's leagues everywhere. And it's like, how did I not hear about this, right? But sometimes it's just not on the radar. And I came down and I tried it. And I had played pickleball a little bit, and no disrespect to the sport, it just didn't resonate with me. And one of the first things, like you were saying right now, one of the first things that immediately, that first day that we were here, right, doing a clinic and open play, it was the social component. And the level of the people were all very chill, and it was very communal. And to your point, like especially in this day and age, it's like we're behind the monitor, we're checking our smartwatches, we're on our phones, and to actually have that in-person connection, sometimes it's harder, especially as you get older. So you, I'm guessing, played hockey in Finland. You got injured, and then you mentioned the Bay Area. So what brought you to the Bay Area?
So I was in the startups for 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Software startups, consumer tech, and did different things. And COVID just was really, really hard for the business we were in hospitality. And yeah, then I found padel through my ex-hockey friends, who kind of, when they were at the last years of their careers, started kind of playing padel at the side of the hockey and especially summertime.
Yeah.
Finland, it's very short,
Right.
only 3 months. It's not like here in California
Yeah, playing every day.
where you play every day outdoors. So I had this vision of like creating outdoor padel locations in Southern California, which obviously is beautiful due to the weather.
Yeah.
And then we started here in Oceanside 22, and then we have some other projects coming in Orange County and hopefully LA as well.
And that's all the teasing you're going to get about that. So you'll have to basically, we'll have more coverage on those as they happen. Tell me a little bit more about what the differences is. Like, just let's start with the court. Let's start with the setup, right? Like for people who are familiar with like tennis or with pickleball, right? What's the similarities, like maybe court size or whatever, and then what are the differences with padel?
So the court size is between pickleball and tennis court, roughly. It's played on a turf. That turf has sand, so that's why you need padel shoes.
Yeah.
So these have a little bit more grip, and they stabilize you on the court. There's a lot of lateral movement back and forth. So in terms of as a challenging sport, I would say padel is like more in between pickleball and tennis. So if you play tennis, you can probably play padel and pickleball. If you play padel, you can play padel and pickleball. The strategy can be somewhat similar to pickleball, where you play a lot of doubles. And it's very social. You're closer to the opponents than in tennis. It's very easy sport to start and begin with, but it's very challenging to master. So I played like 6-7 years, and I'm probably one of the best players in the area. But then if I go and play against the world number 10, I have literally no chance. So the pro players in the sport currently, they come from Spain and Argentina. Those kids are playing since they were 6 years old. And here, most players started after their tennis career or soccer career. Yeah. So we have a lot of players who converge from other sports: tennis, soccer, basketball, volleyball. Anything with footwork and hand-eye coordination translates really well to.
Well, and it's a little easier on your joints, so that feel aspect of it. And there's what I also found interesting is where you can locate it. Like right now, this particular location, we are right on Coast Highway. The footprint is relatively modest, like as far as how much room you need kind of to pull off 2 courts in this case, right?
Yeah.
And so and I've played it enough, like, you're shanking the ball every once in a while into the street, but it's not, it doesn't require like a massive footprint to even get started in it, right? And then it basically builds from there because there's a social component and basically, other amenities around it, etc., right? Tell people about, like, when you came to do this in Southern California, right? What has your experience been in basically doing this in terms of like being an unknown thing, right? Like, so people, like, a lot of educating other people, with the assistance to it.
Yeah, I mean, the permitting has been the number one challenge for us because it's just courts with glass panels and it's a very easy structure.
Yeah.
So it should be fairly easy, like a couple weeks or months maximum to build these clubs up.
Yeah.
But in California, it's been very challenging to build paddle courts, which I don't think it should be this way.
Was part of it the fact that it is not so much a known entity? Like, did you feel like you needed to basically educate the people in the city of the permitting, like what is involved?
Yeah.
Or was it just the normal what you hear in California about permitting?
Yeah, I don't think there is necessarily it's not a known thing yet.
Yeah.
So it's not like a zone for tennis.
Right.
A zone for this particular use.
Right.
So, but it should be just like tennis or pickleball, where you just have the walls surrounding the court, but it should be considered similar
Right.
in terms of developing it, in my opinion. But it's getting easier and easier as more and more clubs build, and we'll
Right.
see a lot of clubs recently pop up in San Diego and LA and the Bay Area.
I know there's a bunch of it in Miami and on the East Coast more because maybe it's closer also to the European kind of market and demand. The thing that I found interesting about playing it is the scoring was just like tennis. So it was relatively easy for me to kind of transition in scoring myself. The nature of the fact that you could play off the wall, actually for me was almost a little bit racquetball. And so or handball even, like, I was standing the other day when we were rallying and there was nobody on the court, and I was just like hitting the ball. I'm like, this is like handball against the wall in the park,
Yeah,
And so, but to your point, it's easy to get into, but then it's harder to master, and you need that regular play, and some guidance and clinics and stuff like that. And the more you play, and with the better people you play with, you're just going to get better, right?
yeah.
But it's not, in a way, it's unknown here or it's new here, but it is so established, right? That you were able to actually pull on some brands and on some sponsors that were already kind of familiar, right, with this.
Yeah, that's why we have these long drinks that actually this drink comes from Finland. So let's try this.
Legend of 1952. So this is not a new thing. And this is a 5.5% alcohol per volume. Traditional citrus is what we're trying. And it really is very good. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's very good. You should try it. And I know where it's available, down here in Oceanside at Padel California. Oh yeah, it's really good. So
You can get these long drinks pretty much anywhere.
I know.
Any big grocery stores, liquor stores.
I'm just trying to get them to come here and try the sport, not just the drinks.
Of course.
But you also, like your programming is interesting too, because you have I know you have mixers on Fridays. You have open play. You already have it set up on Playtomic.
Yeah, Playtomic is the
app.
most popular app internationally. I think they have roughly 3.54 million Padel players.
Right.
So if you travel around Europe, for example, you go to Spain or France or Italy, you can just easily pick up
A game, and then it also, depending on much you play, there's a ranking, and so people know, if they want to play with you or not, or
Yeah, the
whatever.
ranking is very similar to tennis.
Yeah.
Where it goes from 0 to beginner, and then 6 is professional.
Right.
And yeah, then based on your levels, you can find matches.
Yeah, it's really easy to coordinate through that. I mean, I've done it now for matches, for clinics. It's really worth looking into. And there's other sports that you also can kind of do the same thing through, but it's a big one for Padel. You also have I was surprised because I didn't really know. You have head, and that is basically in this space. We were talking earlier about Schlesinger, which is people know from tennis, and it's not just one racket. The rackets have different weights, different levels, widths, right? So let's tell people a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the rackets go from anywhere from beginner rackets, let's say $80, all the way to more professional, hotter surface rackets for $400 or so. Or if you want to go for a Lamborghini one, which is probably plus $1,000, but that's a different racket game.
Yeah, some of us are not there yet.
No, we're not that good yet. But yeah, Head is our main sponsor. This location, and they have rackets from beginners to intermediates to advanced players, all different tiers. This one here is Gravity Pro, so it's more like a touch control foam on top, and it has a lot of sand on here, so it improves your spin and accuracy and easy sweet spot of the racket. And then you have different rackets.
This is the one you started me off with.
Yeah, and probably a little bit too powerful for you.
Well, that's why I keep hitting the ball out of range.
That's maybe too much power for RAAD at this point, but But this is a good goal for him to play maybe 100+ matches and then switch over back to.
Well, the point that's interesting here is it's not really a power game either. It's like I find that it's more like when we were doing clinics, it's like you actually take a breath. Like the ball, you're either coming at the ball or you take a breath, and it's about pace, right? A little bit more, and where you position yourself. It's interesting. So now I know, like with pickleball rackets, they're solid. There's no perforation. So what's the idea behind the perforations on the Padel rackets? Is it more of the bounce? Is it?
It's just the maneuverability. It's Padel is being played with the
Regular tennis ball.
like
Is it the same or is it
sort of regular tennis ball? It's a little bit more dense,
Yeah.
so you can't really squeeze it as a tennis ball.
Yeah.
Tennis ball would kind of fly too much,
Right.
Because these rackets have a lot of power because
Right.
they don't have strings.
And it's like there's a bounce to there's a bounce to the ball that I actually equate only with this sport. I didn't really feel it with pickleball when I tried pickleball. So to me, that was an interesting thing. But it's interesting what this ball will do depending on where you place it in the court. Like,
Yeah, it's I would say that's why if you ever even played a little bit of tennis, no matter if you play in a high level or just recreationally, Padel is very easy to start because you're already familiar at least with the ball. The racket is just slightly different, but
And I started off with this one. And I mean, when did I start? Like less than a month ago
Yeah.
maybe. And so that was when I first like stuck my toe, dipped my toe into this. So I started with this one. And then I just went and purchased this one, which is a Schlesinger one. And it's interesting that I already can feel the difference between the rackets. And when I started last match I played, I started with this one. And then I switched this to try this one because it was new, right?
yeah.
And it's interesting how this was more of a fit for where I am right now in terms of placement
Sure.
and not really hitting it too
Some
hard.
people like to blame their rackets, and most people blame their partners in this game.
So like every other sport, there's always excuses to be made, right?
Yeah,
That's pretty funny.
it's a really good sport to because if you lose, you can always blame your partner.
Oh yeah. I mean, in playing less than a month, we're already doing this on the court, right? With people that are also beginners, right? And it's really easy to get basically into this. Like last Sunday, I played literally almost like 3 hours. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. That's the other thing about this sport for me, like where I am right now in life, is it actually reminds me that I can just play. Like
No
it's not,
pressure.
it's not a pressure thing. It's not competition. Like if anything, you're elevating your own kind of like ranking in terms of that's a byproduct of just playing more. But it just reminded me that it's okay to give yourself permission to just play. Like it doesn't have to be that it's a workout or it's a fitness thing, that you can actually just come out and play.
Yeah.
We had one of the ladies that was at the game like on Sunday. She almost didn't come out. And the other three of us were nobody. I think two of the players knew each other. They're a couple, and then the other two didn't. But nobody really kind of knew each other. And she almost didn't come out because she's like, I can't play worth whatever. And when we were playing, we played for 3 hours. After that, she calls you and she says, I want to become a member.
Yeah.
So it has definitely that added benefit, which I think a lot of people are looking for, especially if they have time now. Like you're coming at it from like startups and intensity and 10x this and on all the time, and in Silicon Valley, the intensity I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So when you basically did this during COVID, what
I
made
played the first year I really played. I played previously like few times.
yeah.
But in 2020, I think I played like close to 500 matches. And one match is like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So so I was technically on court 3-4 hours a day on average, just playing, just because I just loved it and I could get my mind off other things.
Yeah.
And it's really good conditioning too, because you can replace your running or another exercise that you might have done by yourself,
Yeah.
but now you can do it in a social environment,
Outdoors.
outdoors, and then also challenge yourself. Like I've always wanted to be good at things that I do. So like every day I feel like even now, every day I'm learning something, and that's a good feeling.
Right, so it's true. I think it continues to be important, regardless what your age is, regardless where you are in life, to have that balance and that's something that's yours, kind of, that you're doing. And even though you're playing in play couples, basically doubles, you're not. It's also you.
Yes.
So before we go any further, for those who are interested in finding out more, what is the website for Padel California?
It's padelcalifornia.us, and you can send requests. We have intro lessons, we have beginner clinics, beginner sessions. You can come by yourself, come with a friend. We have a lot of couples who want to try together. Some end up playing together, some end up playing separately. We have groups from tennis or pickleball, like a group of 4, and they come and try it out. Maybe some of them like it.
Yeah.
Some of them continue playing, some don't. But yeah, I would say Padel is for anyone who wants to do something athletic in a social environment that it's going to be challenging. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be super easy, and you might get some frustrating moments. But that's how you also get the good feelings. So you get better and better and better, and you know more people at the club. So if you want to grab a beer with your friends after the match, or just grab a bite, we always have people who are going out together after playing.
Right, and like I said, as far as I know, unless the weather is not permitting, you have these mixers on Friday. So usually the mixer, you have to register to be there. But if you reach out to Amir and you're interested, that might be an interesting place to start, at least to see it. If you don't get on time on the court, but at least you'll get to experience it. And I think that's probably what I would suggest as at least a minimum thing. If you don't want to commit to the clinics and really commit to the rackets, whatever, you can rent rackets. So they have the ability for you to rent rackets right out. You don't have to buy the stuff right away.
Yes.
And how long have you been in Oceanside? Like from when you decided to do this, how long has it been?
I think we signed the lease late 21.
Okay.
And the permitting took roughly 2 years.
Yeah.
So we were able to open late 23. And now we've been in business like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And now expanding. So I think things are looking great for Padel. It's growing internationally, but also in US. There's still some states that don't have Padel in the US. But what I've been hearing from our sponsors, partners, colleagues, and other founders is that almost all states are now coming with their new own paddle clubs. And obviously Florida, Miami leading. Miami has a paddle club in every corner. New York, East Coast, Boston, they're all growing in this sport.
And I also noticed that, like, even when I came down to try it, right, when we came down to do it, and we did an article on it on the RAAD Life platform, media platform at raadlife.com. You could go see that. And we'll be putting it out on social in the next couple of days. But the thing that I also noticed a lot is, like, if I go to my gym and there's a lot of pickleball courts, I noticed that the age range of the people that are playing pickleball tends to be a little bit more like, let's say 40s, 50s, 60s, like it's an older. But I noticed here, and the appeal of it also, and I noticed that from my own personal experience from the game, is that it's a little bit wider. You have some people that are younger, you have some people that are older. It's a little bit more wide-ranging. And when I came out to try it, I had a friend of mine that I've known from high school for almost 50 years. And I had my nephew who just turned 20. And we were all playing, right? And in the case of my nephew, he actually was varsity soccer. Okay? The rest of us had not really been that active in any kind of like team sport for a very, very long time. Still, everybody really it was not frustrating for anybody. It was fun. I like the fact that it's a little bit more challenging, and it makes you have to think Like you're running, you're getting yourself to the back where the ball is going to bounce on the wall, and you have to make a decision: am I going to hit it before it bounces on the floor and hits the wall? If it hits the wall, how do I hit it? Okay, to get it back.
That's why they call it the athletic chess. Because once you play more, you kind of have to make decisions a split second.
Yeah.
And you want the opponent to make those decisions.
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh, should I play from the wall? Should I let the ball bounce? Should I not let the ball bounce?
Right.
And that creates like this multi-dimensional learning and instincts on the court, which I think not many other sports do, because it's like very predictable what's going to happen. You just have to be really good at it. But in padel, there's a lot of different variation of how to play.
Right.
Like I always remember, me and my hockey friends who are all very competitive. We thought that we are the shit in the sport when we played the first year, and then we went to some tournament, like more official tournament than just our club, and we had this heavier Spaniard, two guys that were probably in their mid-50s, and they kicked our ass, like 6-1, 6-0. So then I thought, okay, maybe it's a good idea to actually learn from someone, not just play. But obviously you can just play and have fun. But
that's why I'm taking clinics with you. Like, I mean, I laugh because the last time I was engaged in anything with this kind of intensity, when it comes to actually like physical, I can think of when we were younger, we would like basically go outside and play soccer or football for those who are not that know what football is before we can play soccer, right? But we would play soccer every afternoon outside the house with whoever was there.
Yeah.
Until the lights, it got dark and there were low lights, and then you came in. But you did that all the time. Like you went out and you played, and you did that all the time.
And in Finland, it's the opposite because it's not very warm out there. So what you do, you play hockey, right? You go to the rinks and you play 6-7 hours with different people.
Yeah.
And
I mean, here you can say it's almost like basketball. It's like going and playing basketball. The other thing was when I got into scuba diving, I couldn't have enough time in the water, right? And this thing here is kind of funny because, I got certified scuba diving, which was the last time like I felt this feeling maybe in 91, 92. Now I'm 61 years old and I'm actually enjoying the same kind of feeling about something. And I started let's say a month at most.
Yeah.
I've already played like 3 or 4 matches. I've already had like 2 or 3 clinics. We're going to do another clinic maybe tonight after this. Maybe we'll put some pictures in this podcast as well. It is really something I would suggest you try for yourself, because as much as we were explaining it, the playing of it is really where you get it.
Yeah.
And to your point about different ways to play, like this, almost like the chess moves, like every player is different. I've noticed people that are just starting, or maybe one, 2 games ahead of me, right? And they're already doing, trying to basically cut the ball, spin the ball, try to read the opponent, position.
And everyone always wants to smash the ball.
Everybody wants to smash the ball.
They think that's the most important shot, but it's not.
It's not.
But it's fun.
I mean, I'll give you an example. We had we had a mixer 2 Fridays ago, and Amir ended it with playing King of the Court. And when we played King of the Court, at one point, he was on one side of the court, and there was like about 20 of us on the other side of the court. And if you miss the ball, you're gone, right? Guess who was the only person standing on the court after all was said and done, right? And he was basically just strategically positioning the ball, and it wasn't really the smashing of the ball, right?
It's placement.
It's placement, and it's really a very fun sport. We're bringing it to you as it is starting to grow, to encourage you to basically go and try it out. Just kind of in the same spirit of the RAAD Life. You get to decide. Everybody's playing pickleball. If you're playing pickleball, great. You might want to try this. If you haven't wanting to play pickleball for whatever reason, you may want to try this. You might like this more. If you're feeling like tennis is too much for you to do right now, because of whatever reason, limitations, still get out. The fact that we have the ability to play this outdoors, like to the point of pickleball. My membership is with Lifetime, so I basically go to Lifetime in San Clemente, and it's outdoors all the time, right? I went to Lifetime when I was in Detroit, like early last month, and it was like they're playing pickleball inside. right? And I'm like, yeah, this is not like, if your preference is to play something like this, you get sun, you get camaraderie, you get social component, you feel like you're learning something new, getting better at it the more you play. I would recommend that you check out Padel California. And what's the website again?
PadelCalifornia.us.
Padel California, PADEL California.us.
And you obviously find us from Instagram and other channels too.
You guys do a great job on social media. And there's more to come in Southern California area.
Yeah, Orange County, for some reason, has no paddle courts. So we've been trying to do something there for a long time, and LA too, but LA is getting other clubs too, which is great.
Yeah.
But it's a huge area. But Orange County is something that's close to Oceanside. I mean, you come from...
I come from San Clemente. It's a 20-minute drive for me, but the fact that I can be doing this in sun, right? Doing this within 20 minutes, having the ability to arrange for a game as easy as I have it set up, right? I mean, it's really... It's not the challenge to entry into it is almost not there. You just want to make the choice and the decision to actually take action and come and try it. And I'm telling you right now, I started with the beginning. I said, you try this, you're going to get addicted. I remember doing the first one, and then as I was getting off the court, the guy says to me, "Oh, be careful. This is addictive." I said, "It's too late." It was too late already, right? And then the next thing is like, "Amir, I need a racket. Amir, I need shoes." Osaka is a brand of shoes that I'm wearing here. They're really good. And to Amir's point at the very beginning, it's different. Like I was starting to play with other shoes that were even maybe court or multi-purpose shoes. But to your point about the sand and the nature of the court, the minute I put these on, you immediately feel their difference. So as you play more, you start really tweaking.
Yeah, there's couple small things that tennis players and pickleball players don't necessarily know, and they come on a court with wrong shoes. It's turf with sand, especially if it's a little bit humid. It's going to be slippery, and then you're prone to like ankle, knee injuries. So this good shoes are almost more important than a good racket, especially in the beginning, just to prevent injuries. And other than that, I think the turf, at least for me, who's had a lot of bad back problems, knee problems, the turf is really forgiving.
Yeah, it is.
If you go to a hardcore tennis court or pickleball court, I'm always very uncomfortable moving laterally and putting weight different directions. But the turf is really forgiving. But you need good grippy shoes. Otherwise, you'll actually risk more.
Yeah, but if you think about it in terms of some other sports require a lot of equipment. Like this does not really require a lot of equipment. You with a good pair of shoes, the right racket.
You can get shoes for $80. You can get a racket for $80.
$80. So
and there you go.
Right, and it's not and you can check out their information on the website. But let's just tell people, like currently, what is your rates like for a clinic? What are your rates for renting a boat? Right?
So most of the people who play here are members, as you joined, just to create more affordability and more continuity. What we've noticed is with beginners is that you probably require or need 5 to 10 times playing before you can really start rallying and everyone can enjoy the matches.
Yeah.
The rallies go longer and longer. So we try to encourage not just taking one clinic or one class or one match to actually do like a 1 month more intense.
Like a package almost, right?
Yeah, you don't have to commit to a long time, but when you start, at least maybe the first weeks, you play like twice a week, or you take 1 or 2 clinics in the first month. So then everyone can enjoy the game much more.
Which is what I'm kind of like. I kind of organically just kind of leaned into that now, and I have it on my calendar. Like I have personal training on my calendar twice a week, right? And now I have Padel clinics maybe once or twice a week. And again, very easy to coordinate. And I if I may say, even the cost of it is not prohibitive because you can also combine it with other people. It doesn't have to be one.
Cost for clinics, so for members is $17, so very affordable, and $40 for just the drop-in.
Yeah.
And the average cost for a match, which is typically 90 minutes,
Yeah.
is $18 for members and roughly 26 for non-members.
Right, and the way that the app works, if you like reserve a court and you get other people, the minute that you have other people, the cost is distributed on the people playing, right?
Yeah, the app distributes the cost, splits in four players. But yeah, if you just want to come here with your friend for an hour, you can just book the whole court.
Yeah, and I mean, there's, I mean, let me put it this way: he doesn't know this yet, but within less than a month, I already have 3 books on Padel that I'm basically reading, right? With maneuvers, techniques, all this stuff. I'm not telling him because I don't want him to basically say, "Why are you reading it out of the book?" It's going to be against what I'm teaching you on the court, right? But it's like that. Like it's simple enough to get into it, but then it's going to be take a while and constant repetitive play and stuff like that to get better at it, which means then you enjoy it more, right? It kind of almost in that way reminds me a little bit of golf, because when you can just hit the ball, once you get to be able to hit the ball, you hit the ball, but you can spend your whole life trying to get better at it. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be like that, like 50 years and you're like still, throwing the golf club at the pond, right? But
Well, it has happened here. We have players who've destroyed rackets. Not even a few of them, but quite many of them.
there's additional cost to that, by the way. Any damage that happens on the court, you're responsible for. But really, the only way is to come and try it. If you're in Southern California, if you're in South Orange County, it's 30 minutes away. If you're in North San Diego County, it's very close. Look for the expansion that's coming, and we will cover that as well in many different ways as it progresses. But this is the fastest growing racket sport in the world. And you are being given an invitation early on to discover it.
Yeah. And most likely, Padel is going to be in Olympics in the year 32 as an Olympic sport. In 28 in LA, it's most likely going to be an exhibition sport. Because things in that level just don't go that fast. But the requirement for Olympic sport is like 75 and plus international federations where the sport is being played at certain level in those countries, and I think Padel has just reached that level. So Padel is big in Europe, of course,
Huge.
in South America, big in Middle East. There's other challenges in Middle East right now, so hopefully.
Yeah, they're not necessarily playing Padel right now. Although maybe they are, just to kind of deal with the stress.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about it too is that just like with what happened with Pickleball, all of a sudden you have all these competitions, all these tournaments that are happening, and they're getting bigger, and sponsors getting involved, and all this stuff. So this is likely to follow the same kind of expansion.
Yeah, there's already, obviously, we are main sponsor is Head, but you have other big players entering the sport, like Rolex, Wilson. Wilson has rackets.
Yeah,
I'm
shoes.
wearing Wilson's shoes.
Yeah.
There's other big brands that are coming into Padel.
Yeah, there's at least 3 or 4.
From tennis, from lifestyle.
Well, some of them are actually not even in tennis and lifestyle. I feel like some of the shoes, some of the apparel, it's kind of like separate almost, right? So there's all of this energy and excitement about this. Like I said, we're bringing it to you very early on. So when you're sitting at that barbecue on the 4th of July with your neighbors and they're all talking about pickleball, you go, yeah, okay, but have you heard of Padel? And they all go, huh, what's that? And guess who's the popular person now around the barbecue? Like, it really is something you should find out about. And if you do, look me up on the app and maybe we'll play.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right? You're right.
You can always challenge me as well. But that's not going to end up well.
Yeah, don't challenge him yet. No, I mean, that may turn you off the sport very beginning, right? I'm kidding. But great people.
Yeah, he's an easier target for sure.
Yeah. Come throw the ball at me, right? Amir will probably show you how to hit me across the court. But really cool group of people that I've encountered playing the sport. Really fun. the mixer component. You told me today that there's a members day kind of thing happening this Sunday.
Yeah, we try to do once a month, like a members event with whole day of padel, some fun, maybe Battle of Nations. So because we have Europeans, we have Americans, North Americans, Arabs. So like we all kind of compete in a fun way with each other.
And then he put me in the others category. It's like, he said, you're going to be
World category.
world. Sorry, other world category. Yeah. So try it out. Check them out online. PadelCalifornia.us.
Yes.
And look up their pricing and all that stuff. If you have any questions or anything, reach out to me. Amir, you can reach him through the website. He's very accessible.
The intro session is very easy. It's 1 hour with full equipment. It's $15 per person for 4 players. You kind of get an in and out of the rules and technique, and then you're ready to play. If you just want to do that, that's very easy going.
That's how I kind of started. Like once I found out about it, that's how I kind of started. And the pricing, completely, worth it. And it's the only way you're going to find out. But I'll tell you from personal experience, for somebody who just started a month ago, it is an awesome, fun thing to do. And this is a company that you need to be aware of if you're in Southern California, in Orange County, in North San Diego County, because as this thing grows, you're going to have competition. You're going to have these leagues. You're going to have clubs, if you will, playing against other clubs.
We have your first tournament coming up. You don't even know it yet.
Oh my God!
In April, we're training him for a tournament in April.
Oh, did I mention I might be traveling then?
Yeah.
So because I'm world, right? So I might be taking it on the road. No, but actually now I'm thinking, okay, I got to go back and look at my travel schedule, make sure I can make it for the
Padel for every day.
Yes, there's a friend of mine. I'll give a shout out to Craig Scheinman, a friend of mine who basically says, "Show me your calendar, and I will show you your priorities." So my calendar, Greg, if you're listening to this, is just going to change and I have to say Padel and then the rest of the stuff on it. Guys, thank you for joining us. This was a lot of fun to me.
A lot of fun.
Really.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Let's play now.
Yeah, let's go play. So we're going to leave you alone. Join us for the next episode of the RAAD Life. You just never know where we're going to be. In studio, on a court, on the beach, maybe drinking, cheers.
Hey, long drinks. I drank mine already.
See?
I'm finished.
But he's from Finland.
I'm finished.
He's from Finland. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. See you again on the next episode. I'm going to go play Padel.
Good.